And it doesn't matter who the quarterback was, because in '74 it was Clinton Longley when I caught that pass.
Right.
'75 was Roger. In 1980 it was Danny White. So hey, there's got to be a common denominator in there somewhere. Had to be number 88. Okay.
Well, I'm sure many of the seniors remember it well.
On.
Trust me. And I'll tell you what, that was Super Bowl 10. I think that was against the Steelers. Was it not?
Yes, sir.
Right. 2 years later, you go to the Superdome, and it's the first ever Super Bowl played at the Superdome in New Orleans. That was 1978. And who are you up against? A former Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
Craig Morton.
Craig Morton, exactly right. And that was the one time that you were a member of a winning Super Bowl team.
Yes.
You had all those chances to be there before. This one, you win. What was that like, that Super Bowl in Super Bowl 12?
Nothing like it, Scott. It's hard to describe. I played in 7 NFC championship games, so I was 1 game away 7 times.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's incredible.
And we lost 3 of those after Roger retired. And no, Danny's fault. It was other issues that caused us to lose those games.
Right.
But, when you get to that point, the Super Bowl, you want to take advantage of that opportunity. Coach Landry was, used to tell us, we don't want to just get to the Super Bowl. We want to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And to get there in Super Bowl 10 and not win, that was very disappointing. 21-17 to a Steeler team that no one gave us a chance. We were the team of destiny that year. Then to go back a few years later with Super Bowl 12 and then win that and then go back the next year with Super Bowl 13.
Right.
So anyway, Super Bowl 12 against the Denver Broncos, we kind of had a feeling that if we had success on defense in stopping Craig Morton, then if we did anything on offense, we could win this football game, because we knew Craig Morton. He had been with the Cowboys. Coach Landry knew him and what he can bring to the table. That's why he made the decision to go with Roger Staubach as opposed to Craig, because Craig couldn't move. He couldn't be that guy to run Coach Landry's offense. He was a great quarterback and a nice arm, probably threw the best pass that I ever caught, because it came the same way every time, never a wiggle or whatever in that pass as it came to you. So Craig was a good quarterback, but the only problem with Craig, he couldn't move. He had bad knees. And so going into that game, we knew that. And so the idea was to crush the pocket, eliminate the running game, crush the pocket on Craig, and then knock him out of the game, which we did. And here comes a guy named Norris Weiss, from Mississippi or Ole Miss somewhere. Norris Weiss. He comes into the game after we knocked Craig out, and we're on the sideline giving 5 because we knew Norris Weiss was not going to beat us that day.
And if memory serves me, you talk about the defense that you had. I think Randy White and Harvey Martin, weren't they the co-MVPs? I think it's the only time there have been 2 MVPs in a Super Bowl.
They could have nominated that whole defense as the MVP for that Super Bowl, because they were dominant. Randy Hughes, I think, had 2 interceptions. I think Too Tall made the play to knock Craig out of the game. And, just the rest of the defense to stop their running game and force them to be one-dimensional. It was the dominant performance by our defense, no question. And then on offense, we just were able to hit some big plays. The big touchdown pass to Butch Johnson where he dives into the end zone.
Right.
And then how about the fullback pass where Robert Newhouse goes to his left and throws a pass to Golden Richards, and Golden, a perfect pass. Roger Staubach didn't even throw a pass this perfect to Golden Richards, and he makes a great catch in the end zone. And those 2 plays kind of gave us what we needed to end up eventually winning that football game.
Absolutely,
becoming a world champion.
Yeah, it's got a good sound to it. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Before we talk about what's going on in our world today, and you address some of the seniors and say what they might do as they move forward in this crazy world, I'd like you to talk about somebody that I'm sure 90% of the seniors that are here with us today remember well, and I'm talking about Tom Landry. And I just wondered, you came out as a free agent out of Tulsa back in 1973. You stayed with the Cowboys through '83. So that's a great tenure. 1 team, and you're there over a decade. That's pretty good stuff. And not a lot of guys get to say, boy, I was with the same team for this long period of time, and look at the things we did. As you said, all those NFC championship games, you win a Super Bowl. I just wondered, though, the impact that Tom Landry had on your life coming out as a young kid. You were from New Jersey, and You took over. I might make note of the fact, if you're a real football fan, he took over at his high school at quarterback. He was a quarterback in high school, not a wide receiver. Hut. And who was the quarterback that he took over for? A guy named Joe Theismann, who went on to Notre Dame and then, of course, the Washington Redskins. But isn't that something?
Excuse me, I need to correct you there. Joe Theismann.
Oh,
in South River.
That's
Once
right.
he went to Notre Dame, he had to change to win the Heisman. He changed it to Theismann, to Theismann, to rhyme with Heisman.
That's right. Heisman.
Love you, Joey.
Yes, but it was Joe Theismann. But he's been Joe Theismann ever since.
Yeah, yep.
But I just wondered if you would share with us the impact that Tom Landry had on your life. Because I tell you what, Drew, I can talk to just about any Dallas Cowboy, and they'll say, even a guy like Hollywood Henderson.
Yeah.
And he'll say, you have no idea the impact that Tom Landry had on my life.
Yeah, you don't realize the impact that he has until you're away from him. And the things that he instilled in you, now you take those things in your life after football and you use those things. And the way he instills those things, it's just a natural flow of him living the way he is. You know, he talked the talk and he walked the walk. And, you know, I come out of Tulsa where I had 3 head coaches in 4 years, 3 losing seasons in 4 years, 3 years of probation, and probably one of the reasons I didn't get drafted, because you're in that negative environment. And now you go to the Cowboys, and now you're like, what, 21, 22 years old. Now your mentors become Tom Landry, Roger Staubach, Bob Lilly, and people like that. And, man, if you're not smart enough to soak all that in, I was like a sponge, man. Everything they were saying, I was learning from, I was absorbing and trying to use to make myself better, not only as a football player, but better as a person. And Coach Landry, you know, one of the reasons I chose Dallas as an undrafted free agent, I could have went to Green Bay or Pittsburgh, but Landry was the main reason I chose Dallas. And he told me as a free agent, he says, once you get in a training camp, everybody's going to have an equal opportunity, whether you're a free agent or the #1 draft pick, to make this football team. And I'm thinking, yeah, right, there was 100 rookies in there. But he gave each and every one of us an opportunity to make that team. And the way he did it, you know, the system he had allowed a guy like Drew Pearson, who wasn't big. I come out 165, 170 out of college. I wasn't fast. The fastest I ever ran was a 4.640. I wasn't strong. I never lifted one weight in the 4 years at Tulsa University. Not one dumbbell or barbell or anything in those 4 years. So I wasn't that strong. But because I had some talent, I was able to operate in that system. But also, I had the character, the intelligence, and the passion that Coach Landry was looking for in his players. And you look at some of those players on that roster, Roger, character, intelligence, passion, Leroy, character, intelligence, Bob Lilly, same thing, all these guys. And now, you know, you're in that mix. And because of that and the way the system was structured, if you had those 3 other qualities and some talent, you can make that Cowboy football team and make it and turn it into a career for yourself. And so it wasn't always about the talent ability. When I came in, there were guys drafted ahead of me, and, they were good players, and I see why they were drafted. But the thing is, the difference was right here. If they would have taken the tape measure and stopwatch and put it around my heart, Scott, they would have saw I was a #1 draft pick, because I was going to take advantage of this opportunity to make the Dallas Cowboys. And doing that and making that team, man, now your whole life changes. You know, the whole way people are looking at you has changed. And now they look at you as a true professional because you did it for Tom Landry and you did it for the Dallas Cowboys.